Foundation coming at you with my Cowboys versus Buccaneers video. Still a little bit under the weather, but getting better. Yeah, so you know who I roll with. I roll with the Cowboys. Obviously, I was wrong last week. You know, there's no really story to tell. I mean, you know, I haven't been able to think of any serious things. I mean, you know, I know I had that Thanksgiving game, but again, I didn't really get to watch a lot of live games. You know, I got to watch the replay, you know, from DVR and stuff like that, and regular tapes and stuff like that. But I haven't, you know, been able to watch a game live as far as the Buccaneers are concerned. But anyway, yeah, you know, this stretch, you know, from ever since the Baltimore game and maybe to the end of the season, man, this is gonna be a hell of a stretch for us. I'm glad we won the first three. You know, obviously we lost to the Giants, but there's a lot right. You know, there's a lot of things going on. You know, if the last game means something, the Eagles could play sport and their division rivalry. You know, and they hate us, so nothing would make them probably happier. You know, than to if they got a shot to ruin that season, they could do it. But anyway, yeah, you know, we played up Buccaneers defensively. You know, they're one of the best teams at takeaways. You know, Gerald McCoy, you know, probably the most impact since they had Warren Sapp. You know, they're obviously two different players, but you know, as far as impact, showing them under impact. You know, he's not on that level yet, but you know, he's giving them that impact player. Noah Spence, you know, one of the top draft picks. You know, like one of the top not top draft pick, but top pass rushers in the draft. You know, Cowboys was looking at him, but you know, after going through what Gregory, you know, you just couldn't risk it again. And you know, it is what it is, but we just couldn't risk it again, especially at the same position. You know, it's hard to do that. Their secondary, man, you better hope they don't get their hand on the ball, because they're very good at that tip drill thing. You know, like I said, they're one of the best at taking the ball and all that. So, you know, and then their offense, you know, Winston showing a lot more improvements. This last ever since their winning streak, I'll say, he's not been careless at all. So, you know, but you know, he does take risks, so we could have a chance of getting some, maybe getting lucky and getting a ball thrown kind of badly, and then maybe we can take it away. Also, you know, this is what, and then he's got a huge weapon out there. You know, Evans. You know, that guy is so huge and, you know, so talented, right? It's like, whew. And this is why I always get myself into some arguments, because I know there's a lot of Johnny football fans still yet that they believe in him and, you know, whatever. You know, I never I thought he was okay, but, you know, I never really was a Johnny football guy. But one of the reasons why too is, like, you know, especially that Alabama game, you know, he was running around and he was just launching the ball in the air, and a lot of them went to Evans. And Evans coming down with the ball, and then they're like, oh, I mean, yeah, did it give him more time to get open? Yeah, but when you got a big target like that, you get to launch the ball straight in the sky, and he goes, make a play. You know, it makes it easier. And you never know, he could have been open in the beginning. Is this Johnny football just never see him, and he's running around like, you know, with a chicken without his head kind of thing. So it is what it is, and all that. And then, you know, like with Evans, again, you know, Winston, all he has to do is throw in his catch radius, and he could make a play on the ball. Doug Martin, you know, if it wasn't for he being banged up so much every time, I think he would be one of the top running backs in the game. You know, he has that kind of good, you know, good balance and good vision and good moves, you know, to get there. But you know, he just gets banged up. I wouldn't mind taking him, but the money that he was asking for, and you know how I feel about free agents, man. I was like, oh, hell no. Gazeeks. But anyway, and you know, yeah, so like my last video, how do we respond? And again, like I said, we have a lot of competition, and how do we respond? And I think Dak, they have, after having this much games under his belt, defenses see some things that they go, okay, what worked against him, and they started throwing at him. And now it's time and then on top of that, not only that, our last game, the wide receivers, I hope they're walking funny, because Derek Dooley, I hope there's a lot of boots missing, after what he did, probably did to them. So anyway, and then I think, Dak as well too. I think with Dak's intelligence, Dak's competitive fire, and his work ethic, I think he's gonna, I believe that he's gonna respond. It is his time to learn. He was dictating. He got to do a lot of things, and then all of a sudden the defense says, well, let's try this. Let's try all the things that worked against him, and magnify it. And it's his time to respond. And all that. And you wouldn't want it on any other way. I would rather have it now than in the playoffs. Let me tell you that. I hope Des Bryant had really, like, this set, basically set next to Dooley, and or went outside with Dak and say, hey, let's work on some stuff, because he was embarrassing. I mean, it should be a huge embarrassment for his spot. He was coming on, he was starting to look like the Des of old, and this game, like, kind of go, what the hell is that? But anyway, it is what it is. I hope that's the way they're gonna respond. The offensive line, like I said, the last two games they've been getting hell, and they've been getting some like silly penalties. And I think one of the reasons why too, I think, is we are missing Swain, a little bit more than what is led on. That guy, he could catch down the field, and he could block. The most important thing, he could help pass block and run block, and that allowed width and more freedom. So losing him is a huge thing. That Escobar, he tries his best, but he's just not a same player as Swain. So that's one thing that sucks. So we gotta figure. I think that's one thing that is giving Dak a little bit of struggles, because we gotta figure out how we're gonna work around that, and all that. So I think missing Swain is a huge part of it. Yeah. So I hope our offensive line was just like, this is a couple of weeks already. They've been people been kind of like going, oh, wow, they've been taking us out of the game, Oh, we got to Dak, or we got to Zeke, and I hope they're like, okay, come on. And then you see Ryan Russell, the former whipping boy. I mean, I'm glad he's doing okay, in Tampa Bay. It irritates me a little bit, but at the same time, if it opened up his eyes and he went to someplace else and he got to see more, light came on in his head, whatever. But I hope he gets in the game and then Tyron Smith is like, please run the ball this way, and this. so and I think this is gonna be a game where they're gonna go back to what they really do well, and be the true identity of this team, and just have Zeke. If we can get that ball going and start running the ball, then everything else, the execution, we start executing better with our run game, and Zeke is this. And the defense is like, God, fun it. We had, they're running the ball again, and then that's when everything is, all that other things falls into place. It's not because Zeke is more important than Dak, or Dak is this and da 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 da. It's not that crap. It's just, this is what this team does best. When that running game is going, everything else is much better. The linebackers are more up. It gives Beasley free run. The safety is cheating in the middle, or safety cheating down. Then you got Dez more freedom to get a way of running. running his routes and all that. So that's the way this team needs to be run. And I hope Zeke is tired after this game. I hope he's just like, oh man, come, everybody leave me alone. I want to sleep. I hope we go to that extreme, you know. And you know that's why McFadden is back, you know, to probably help him on third downs, you know. But that's the way we go. Alrighty, that's my video. Mahalo for watching. Paniolo boys, go Cowboys.